What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off what the charts are showing and based off what the data is suggesting. I'm also going to break down why on earth next week is going to be very important for NIO as we have the big CPI report coming out. I'm also going to end the video by talking about what NIO liked on their Twitter page, which is very good for the future of this company. Now, before I break any of this news down, before I talk about why I'm still very bullish for the long-term future of NIO and give you guys my price prediction, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner, so don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,500. You could always sell these 12 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some NIO shares for free. This is a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 7 days, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So NIO is down about 3.25% for the day. At least it was that down on Friday. It's a little bit red in the after hours. So I want to talk about what I think is going to play out for tomorrow. So right now, when it comes to the markets, they're pretty neutral on the fear and greed index. They're not necessarily in a bad state. And we do have some big news coming out for the CPI report going into next week. So the very big thing, and I'm sorry, it's this week actually, on August 10th. So this is going to be very big for the markets. We can see it's going to be at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And if we do see that nice decrease in CPI that's confirmed, that would be a lot better for the markets. Now, can I guarantee that's going to happen and the markets are just going to remain bullish forever? The answer is no, but this will actually affect the trajectory of the markets and also how the Fed responds. So it's going to be very important. Now, when it comes to NIO, there is something I want to talk about, and that's when we dissect SPY. It's going to help us understand something very interesting. So let me real quick just find my SPY chart, which is right here. And you guys could see clearly on the SPY, we're showing some really decent signs right now. Some people could argue that the SPY started to push up near the end going into like yesterday for some time, but overall it's been kind of trading sideways and it is showing some signs of weakness. Now we're getting these nice volume pushes at the end of the day. That's a good sign to see, but as of right now, it's looking like the SPY is kind of struggling at least somewhat. It is starting to kind of descend a little bit from that high, and it's not guaranteed to continue going into Monday, but I am a little bit concerned because when the shorts come back, whenever that is, as soon as they're ready, that's when the whole market could take a hit. Now, are they ready to just start piling in and causing the whole market to crash, like starting tomorrow? The answer is not necessarily. I don't think it's going to happen that quickly, but I'm going to carefully watch how SPY really moves and how this ends up affecting NIO. So I want to actually pull up the EMAs. And with the EMAs, you could see on the daily, got the nice 1348 EMA crossover starting to curl a little bit right here. And our resistance on SPY was around this 200 EMA. So what I'm going to still look out for is, can SPY still break past the 200 EMA? If it could do that on the daily, it's going to be a nice bullish sign. If not, it might actually have some room to trade a little sideways and maybe start to come down a bit. So that's essentially what I'm essentially seeing. And so far, the SPY has been showing some weakness right here. It's struggling to break past this key resistance zone. So with that said, if you look at the weekly charts on SPY, it's been pushing up every single week for the last 3 weeks. So I would like to see a continuation if we get that breakout. As of right now, and it hasn't been doing that. So it does look like the market might actually trade a little sideways for some time before it gets ready for its next big move. But remember, out of nowhere, the big volume spikes could come and the thing could still get pushed to the upside when the time is right. So I'm not fully convinced it's just going to start tumbling just yet. I'm going to have to just wait and see. But right now, it's looking like it's going to trade a little sideways, maybe drop a little bit. But overall, I think it's going to hold up for the most part. Now, for NIO, what does this mean for NIO? Well, if I bring up the 5-minute candles, this is something very interesting about it. It has this tendency of kind of like trading in these ranges, right? I've mentioned this so many times. And now let me just go back let me see if I can get my chart to fix. Let's go back 10 days, 15 days if you even have to. Look at how NIO was getting rejected off 20.8. It came down and it was essentially bouncing between 18.75 and 19.5. And you could see back and forth and back and forth. It was just bouncing and bouncing and bouncing. Then we got the breakout, which I was talking about. I predicted this would happen, and we got the big breakout. And then we started trading in this range. See how it was trading, like going back and forth right here? Notice how NIO was bouncing between 20.8 and a 19.5. It was going back and forth and back and forth. And I did see it actually touching that 21.5 range. I did think we could go as high as 22 if we actually got a nice breakout. But since then, we actually dropped right back down to this kind of like midline level. So since then, it's looking like NIO is still going to trade a little sideways unless it gets that break out of 20.8 and holds this. That would be a very good sign. And that's really what you want to look out for. So let me just talk about key support and resistance levels. And then on Wednesday, remember, we have CPI coming out. So that could be a good sign for the markets. That could actually push the markets up if things go very, very well. With that said, I'm a little bit more optimistic for the middle and maybe like Wednesday, Thursday of the week. I'm less optimistic for Monday and Tuesday, but hopefully we do see some decent moves. So what I'm essentially seeing is I think NIO is going to trade in this range again. It's going to push up to about 20.8. It also has a gap up here, I believe. Let me see if I could find it. Yep, there's a gap. It happens to get filled right where our key resistance level is. So it's looking like what's going to happen tomorrow is this. Let me just draw this out. I want to zoom into this just a bit before I draw this. So we have our trading day, right? Going into tomorrow, I mean, NIO is a little red in the after hours. Maybe NIO drops a bit. If she drops to 19.5, I want to see a bounce. She needs to bounce. If she doesn't get that bounce, things will not be good. But I'm going to be optimistic. I think NIO could get a nice bounce, right? It's going to push up like this. It might fill the gap all the way up here. It's like 20.8. And once it fills the gap, I wouldn't be surprised if we get kind of like a rejection of that resistance. And we trade a little sideways. We're going to try to hold this key support zone. This is very similar to where NIO closed, 20.2. I've talked about this for some time. And I think NIO is going to try to hold it. It's going to trade a little sideways for a lot of time. Might start to drop a bit. And we did see some weakness. So it is possible for us to be slightly in the red, closing hopefully around like 20 flat. So I'm seeing a bit of a flat day. I'm not seeing this thing tumble too hard just yet. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing closed just slightly red for the Monday. Because what we're seeing in the markets is Fridays tend to be kind of like a reflection of Monday. It's something very weird that has been happening. So I'm essentially predicting a sideways day. And I do think NIO is going to drop a bit, just a little bit. But I want to see it hold these ranges. So the key range right now would be between 19.5 and 20.8. And remember this, NIO has some support right now at 20.2. And if it pushes up, then 20.8 is resistance. If it breaks 20.8, it has the potential to go to 21.5. I mentioned this, right? Well, let me show you a real life example of that happening. I told you guys this before. And what happened to NIO was on one of these days, it actually broke past 20.8 and it had a strong breakout. We're seeing lots of volume, very beautiful looking candles. And what happened is it pushed up and it got rejected at 21.47, very close to the 21.5 range I was telling you guys about. So you could see these support and resistance levels work very well for NIO. If you're trading especially, be very, very wary of them. So just to remind you guys, we have some support at 20.2. If that doesn't hold, this thing could touch 19.5. And if that doesn't hold, this thing could go as low as 19 flat. And I mean, 19 flat is not a very strong support zone. It's just a psychological level. The stronger support would be at 18.75. So I just want to call out these ranges. I don't think NIO is going to touch, that low of a level, but this is essentially what I'm predicting. This is what the chart is essentially showing me. Now, even though, the market doesn't look the best right now, even though the market's kind of choppy, maybe not everyone is super confident in it. The market's just neutral right now. The long-term future of NIO is still very, very bright. If you actually look at this right here, there's some reports that are now suggesting that NIO is going to be working on a smartphone. I know that this is kind of like rumored, but in my opinion, there have been so many articles coming out about this. So many people are talking about this. And William Lee Bin, the CEO, he actually confirmed that NIO was looking into smartphone development. So it's not confirmed that they have the product yet, but they are going to be entering the smartphone phase in the future. So I'm very, very excited for that. I think it's going to be very big for them. And they will essentially, according to some posts, they do plan on launching it. So that's going to be very good. It's just that it's not confirmed yet. They don't have like designs or things like that. So we're going to have to wait and see how that actually goes. But until then, things are looking very, very good. Additionally, NIO has been working to expand in European countries to start not just producing more cars there, but working on some manufacturing parts, building more power swap stations. It's amazing how they're expanding, and I'm confident they are going to succeed if you give them the time they need. Now, according to this post that they liked, I mentioned this to you guys in a previous video, NIO Global and Shell introduced the first integrated power charger and power swap station. So once again, they're working with other companies. They're producing better products. They have great customer service. They're working on AI, autonomous technology. They have amazing, amazing, amazing products. And I think the future is very bright. I also admire how they have more affordable cars. And I really think that the affordability in China is going to be one of the biggest factors that drives them forward. And I really believe they're going to get a lot more deliveries to come. With that said and done, thank you all for listening. Please have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Be ready for tomorrow. NIO to the moon, because the long-term future is bright, and peace out.